right, everyone, we are back with the next episode of the Raiders Rambles. I am Jolt, your chief host of the show, and joining me, as always, is none other than my awesome co-host, Avira.
Hello! Hey, what's up, guys? I hope you are having a fantastic Friday. I'm looking forward to an awesome show. We got some stuff going on,
Oh,
and
heaps of
yeah,
stuff going on.
so far everything has been good. You know, the last week or so, I've been trying to get some stuff together. Oh boy!
Oh yeah, there's quite a lot going on, and as
Oh yeah!
much as I finally thought that the heat was gone, it almost feels like summer don't want to leave yet. Just a part of
Well,
that
summer for you,
makes
winter for
me.
me.
I know. Like when the season don't want to leave, that just gets all like, "Ew, what can you do, eh?" Anyway, joining us today on the show is our current no interim host, Noble.
I want to talk to the manager now.
Yes, I'm the manager. What's state your problem? Yeah.
Nothing.
Okay, Karen. Well, if the manager won't do it for you, you can talk to Foxler, our boss, and then we can take it from there. You have a nice day.
Uh,
Now get out of our store.
All right, and joining us for the show once again, we have Maligos.
No, I am the manager.
No, no, no. Look at me. I am the manager now.
You think the managers come? No, Skylar, I am the manager.
Oh my goodness. And then something the manager version of I'm the one who knocks.
Yeah. No, you think the managers come to me? No, Skylar, I am the manager.
Yeah, who
Like
do you
I
think you're
walks in,
talking to right now?
yeah, like someone walks into a store and complain and mouths off at me and this is the respect I get? No. I am the one who
Nice.
kicks.
Great to have you back, Malagos. Literally the essence of magic. Hell yeah.
I am the essence of magic. Likewise.
Well, there's quite a lot that has been happening this week, and it's oh man. Whew, yeah. All right. Before we do start this live comment here at Boombox, no, I am the asshole who's kicking you out of this store.
Got some competition there, Noble.
yeah.
All right. So first and foremost, well, it's time to pour one out and say farewell to a legend. And that legend has been a biggest mainstay. If anything, this is the man who got so many kids, grown ups, and everything you can think of in between into anime.
The whole Latin America.
Yes, like all over the world. Like it's crazy. It is none other than Akira Toriyama himself who has left this world.
So
Yeah,
I
it's 60,
literally
it's
just found out
68.
about this earlier, and
Yeah.
this really was quite a shock to the anime community, because I mean he's been working on projects for the last 45 years. A lot of anime staples literally came from Dragon Ball.
Also, it's like some people might not know, but Akira Toriyama is one of the was one of the creators of a series that's actually very popular in Japan. I mean, it's like it's like a cult classic in Japan. It's Dragon Quest. and
That's correct. Yes.
and
Correct.
Dragon Quest is actually the game that started the entire JRPG genre. It's why we have Final Fantasy and Chrono Trigger. It all started from the Dragon Quest, and he was involved in it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So he not only did he actually uh, made an impact in the anime industry, but he also made a huge impact in the video game industry as well.
Yeah,
Absolutely. His creativity transcended generations of technology and, well, generations, I guess.
100%. Like everything, and all of it just quickly cascaded from there. And Toriyama's contribution is friggin'. It was, yeah, it's insane.
Oh,
And it
it's unrivaled for sure. I mean, now unfortunately, this was on the, well, if you want to read the article here.
on the statement it says, yeah, it's crazy. He passed away like very, 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 not too long ago, and now the Dragon Ball Twitter has made a statement. It's
Mhm.
yeah, 45 years of projects and whatnot, and he still has a hand on projects these days too, because Dragon Ball has evolved to Dragon Ball Super and more.
He
It's
does, yes, especially at Dragon Ball Daima and Dragon Quest. He was still working on that, as well as many other projects.
Yeah, Dragon Quest 12.
And yes, he was 68. Now, I'm not saying that's like a super young age, but I mean,
It's not
68.
expected. It's not expected for someone, especially like in a country like Japan, where
Yeah, I mean, when they
where
have
the
super
living standards
centenarians,
are
right?
well, the living standards in Japan are quite high, and people usually have like an age there for like till 85. I would say 85, 87.
Well,
It's
the
like
fact that he was still 68 and working on all these projects, like literally in the middle of several of them, he unfortunately passed away from what they say is some kind of a blood clot. So it was totally unforeseen.
yeah,
And yeah, this is a major blow.
I
It's
know.
it's a bummer.
It's yeah, but we'll have a look at the legacy that was just left behind. It's from 1984 to present day. Dragon Ball has sold 260 million plus manga volumes, spawned
yeah.
5 television series. Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Super, and of course, you know what you said, Dragon Ball Daima. 21 films, 100 plus video games, and countless memories. Oh my
Ah,
goodness.
man, that's
I'll
rough.
also do note that to me, like Chrono Trigger, one of the games that he worked on is, in my opinion, one of the best games ever made. Like it, honestly, to God, it's like it's like a game that's like it's like so amazing to me that like I've never played anything that's as good as Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, it's something of, and like you said, it's something of a cult classic, and so it's basically gotten itself as legendary status. It's crazy.
It's basically one of the best games that Toriyama has worked on,
Hmm.
Hmm.
and like in all honesty, he made such a huge impact to the anime community as well as the video game community as well. And like calling him a legend would be like an understatement. He's the man is like beyond legend. It's like like without him, I don't think even the world would know the anime would be as popular as it is today.
Yeah,
Oh no, absolutely, definitely made a major impact on the anime world,
and not
especially
just
like
that,
when
but
it comes, even just like when it comes to animation or like
yeah,
stereotypes and like tropes and
yeah,
stuff.
and
Absolutely.
in culture, because oh my goodness, it gave like it literally gave us the inner child just something to really go out, make pretend, have fun, and it just triggered the imagination of many children in just such amazing ways. My goodness, dude. I first got introduced to this sort of stuff when I moved in, when I came to Australia all those years ago, and as you know, at the back end of the '90s, and one of the first kids cartoons that we ever got to saw. What else could it be other than Dragon Ball Z?
Yes.
Oh,
Oh, that's fantastic that it made its way all the way down to Australia too. 'Cause I
So did
remember back
Dragon
in
Ball.
the back end of the '90s, like when I was a kid, DBZ was always on Cartoon Network. Like there was always a time slot for it. It was either on Toonami or whatever it was.
There was
And
a
like,
local.
sorry?
There's a local store where I am, and at one
Yeah.
point they were ordering. They had all this Dragon Ball Z stuff. They could not sell it for the life of them. And then all of a sudden, when the show kicked off, they just couldn't get a hold of it.
Yeah, right? Yeah, totally. Major cultural phenomenon. I mean,
yeah, and it's one of those things. Like I just want to say, like for back then, yeah, like I just like it almost makes me think that from my experience alone, I just like it makes me feel like the '90s kids like myself and their era had it the best.
oh heck yeah, we did.
What the
And,
highly pixelated fight scenes on your
Yeah.
sat TV?
Yeah, that's right. Of course. Yeah, you're waking up at Saturday morning to watch freaking Goku fight the bad guys. Hell yeah, that was great. Come on, man.
So I mentioned that Toriyama did also some furry characters as well.
Yes,
In
the,
at least in Dragon Ball, there was a lot of anthropomorphic animals. Like Oolong would be one of the things that one of the characters that come to my mind.
oh, I
As
do
an
recall the abundance of cat ears and tails.
yeah.
Yeah, there was
Like-
that quite a bit. So
So Toriyama did actually also drew some furry art as well. I mean, in Dragon Quest, you have like a lot of you have monsters and everything, and you also have like anthropomorphic monsters too. But yeah, my like when you mention like Toriyama and furry, the first thing that comes to my mind is Oolong, the little pig. You don't know.
Oh, and his little friends.
And his cat what's the cat's name called again? Oh, I forgot. Um the little cat, the little blue cat that flies with Yamcha. Ah, Puar, yeah.
So I'm just wondering now, and I'm not the only person thinking this. There's been a lot of people in the fan base who are wondering what's going to happen with the projects that were unfinished, that were being either written or supervised
Uh,
by Akira.
So
I go.
my understanding is that there was a movie on Goku's father, Bardock, and that had absolutely nothing to do with Kiriyami. I pictured his name, bugger. So my understanding would be that there'd be other people to take over. And because it's Japan, they're more than likely to be respectful to the source material than basically just flip it on its head and make it horrible.
Yes, I absolutely agree with that. In fact, when it comes to respect in the Japanese culture, one interesting thing that Dragon Ball Z official website announced when they announced his death publicly, they said, please don't send us flowers or condolences. Don't interview the family. Because Akira, he was a very private guy, more or less. He didn't want to get himself out there. He didn't really want all the fame and whatnot. He was a very humble person. And even now, they're still trying to have that level of respect, which is respectable.
I think when it comes to Dragon Quest, like I mean, he mainly does the art for Dragon Quest. He doesn't do the story. The story is done by Yuji Horii, I think. But
Mhm.
but the art style thing, I think that somebody that he had an apprentice or something that actually uh, learned his art style, so that he would actually continue his legacy. I mean, his art style is very known around. I mean, it's always they said that he always had that same face kind of. They call it same face syndrome, where if you look at Dragon Ball and Dragon Quest, for example, they have very identical character faces. In a
Yes,
so
well, that's not really a bad thing per se. I mean, that's literally
no,
just like the
it's just
style.
no, it was just his unique art style, and I think that somebody actually that he had an apprentice that actually learned his style. So most likely his apprentice will take over and continue the to do the art that he used to do.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully so. Because like we mentioned, there's several projects that are still unfinished that he was working on, and this unfortunate death came out of nowhere. Kind of reminds me of what happened with Uncle Iroh's original voice actor from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Mako passed away from
Yeah,
throat cancer,
Mako.
and
Yeah,
then his
yeah, yeah.
apprentice was the one who trained under him, and then became his voice actor and did a pretty great job.
Yeah, he voiced Uncle Ira, I think.
Yep,
And yeah, like he even I think he even also voiced that same person that replaced him, his Uncle Iro. I think he also voiced. I might be wrong, but I think he also voiced the uh, Aku in the last
he
season
did.
of Samurai Jack. Yeah, he
Yes, he
did.
did.
Yeah. So in
Aku.
terms of in terms of art and style, the I think the somebody will still like take his place and continue doing the same similar style as him. But like as for him, like to me, like he will be always remembered as a sort of a legend in when it comes to anime and video games.
Oh, of course. He's been working on this for like the last 45 years. So he
Uh,
was, I believe, what, 23 when he started getting
Especially,
into the industry?
I mean, like I said, not a lot of people like actually like take Dragon Quest for granted, but Dragon Quest came out like around in 1984. Like back then when like it basically standardized the entire Japanese RPG, and without Dragon Quest, you wouldn't have Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy, um,
Probably
Legends of
wouldn't.
Mana, like all of the famous Japanese RPGs, they wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Dragon Quest.
Well, good point. And I would say another point is that a lot of anime tropes wouldn't even exist without Dragon Ball Z itself.
In
Yeah,
fact,
and as
yeah.
I mean, a lot of animations were inspired. Hell, even what was that Cartoon Network show? Steven
Toonami.
Universe with the
Oh no,
fusion
Steven.
dance. Yeah, that was based
Yeah, the
Oh
on.
my,
yeah,
Yeah,
the
dude,
fusion
we all know
dance.
where
Yeah,
that came from. I mean, come on.
dude, dude. Fucking, you can only imagine how much terms and stuff Dragon Ball has just added to the cultural lexicon. Like friggin', like we would say, like we people saying Super Saiyan and friggin', fusion dance and all that.
Over
remember,
9,000.
remember,
Ah!
remember, remember when Zoomers tried to pronounce that because Fortnite had like the whole Dragon Ball kind of thing, and Zoomers like back in YouTube like started like say they couldn't pronounce Kamehameha, so they pronounced like Kamehamahami or Kamehamama or something like that. Like because they didn't grow up with Dragon Ball, so they don't know how it's pronounced. It's Kamehameha, like wave.
Oh boy. Yeah. I remember that. They
Oh my
literally
goodness.
couldn't say kami. Like
Good times.
good.
Oh
Okay.
my good. It just the good times just keep pouring for us. I mean, I don't think I'll ever. I don't think I'll ever forget Dragon Ball and the legacy that Toriyama left behind. Not to mention all the days where where I just take in the days of VCR, I would just pop the cassette in and record an episode of Dragon Ball just to watch it over and over.
I'd remember getting up early, like early, just to watch, just to watch stuff like, what was it? Power Rangers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and
I
Dragon Ball,
know.
of course.
That's the thing. Morning TV is just a thing of it. Yeah,
And I had like that in biological clock. Like I was like 6 at the time, and I knew actually like at 6, like 6 or 6:30 or something, to get up, basically turn on the TV, switch to channel 7 at my VCR, and basically wait for the cartoon to come out.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you know,
Uh,
dude,
Yeah.
I'm right there with you. You know, Saturday morning cartoons were the bomb. Totally.
but like it's kind of funny how how we were hardwired to basically get up early in the morning, because usually like my mom was like, why, because my mom was like, why do you always, like during the work days when you have to go to like school and stuff, you always just you don't like getting up, like like I have to like get up, but like during the Saturday morning, you just like get up at 6:30 and wait at the TV. Like,
Well, there you go. Hey, that's like the power of motivation. Would you rather wake up for, your favorite cartoon or wake up for work?
and I didn't even have and this was like 90, so it's 98. Like I didn't even have like an alarm clock. I basically knew when to get up. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yo, same.
Yeah, and like for me, because I lived so close to my school at the time when I was a kid, I could just binge on every single morning cartoon, Monday to Friday, catch a Dragon Ball Z episode, and then when it's done, walk to school. Best
and
thing
of
ever.
course talk to everyone about the latest Dragon Ball.
Exactly. What happened?
Yeah,
This
yeah.
episode?
Oh, did you see the latest episode? Of course I did. Hell yeah,
Hang
man.
on, hang on. It was in the morning for all of you.
But it was
Yeah.
a Saturday cartoon. But for me, we had it Monday to Friday. We had TV show. We had morning cartoon.
Afternoon, weekdays is when I got to see Dragon Ball Z.
Ah,
And Dragon
well,
Ball.
When Toonami came out in like early 2000s, then they started airing it in afternoon, like. But before that, I think like when original Dragon Ball was airing, they were airing it like on Saturday morning,
I
along with the other, like there was also Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, and all that. Like
when I was in high school, the computer tech gave me a CD with Dragon Ball Z written on it.
oh well,
They were uncensored episodes. I got to see Giddy Up Krillin while I was still in my early teens.
ah, yes. All the
uh,
violence. Very good.
there's that scene where Yamcha was, I think, fighting an invisible man, and basically to reveal the invisible man, Krillin had to pull Bulma's top down so that Master Yoshi could squirt blood from his nose and reveal the invisible man.
It's just
Very-
wrong.
kids cartoon, but
It got
you know.
weird sometimes. Let's be real, it did, but that was, Japanese culture, all right? Maybe America wasn't quite ready for it.
But I mean, even when I was watching as a kid, I still found it funny. Even how like Master Yoshi was such a huge pervert.
Everyone's got to have their weakness.
Yeah, and even then, like by the time it was just hilarious because it flew over most of our head, most of our impressionable kids' minds.
I mean,
We
I
didn't get
still
until
remember
a
the
lot
time where
later.
that dude holding the bundle of cash, he like melted. Like his skin just turned into like freaking mush.
Ah man, Dragon Ball Z
Remember
is so
that? That was
crazy.
oh god.
Mm. But
And
Anyway,
even do you guys remember that part where that was like the beginning of Dragon Ball when Goku was checking Bulma's panties to see if Bulma was a boy because he didn't know the difference between a boy or a girl because he grew up in the forest, and he basically took off Bulma's panties to see. It says, "Bulma, your balls, they're gone."
ah well,
And
he might as well be
And
growing up in 2024 and not knowing the difference between a man and a woman.
oh god.
So yeah, that's relatable nowadays. Kind of aged well, I guess.
oh my goodness! At the end of the day, we've all. It's hard to forget how all this stuff. It's crazy, but at the end of the day, we've got a show to run, and I'm gonna leave you with a very very fitting image to send off. Toriyama-san, thank thank you for everything. Thank you for the legacy you left behind. Here's one to ya
And
as
good
you take
luck
the
with it.
Nimbus to heaven.
He needs to go through the snake road in order to get to Kami.
Oh man,
If you
he's
can remember
riding
the
the
Dragon Ball.
clouds, and he's just hoping that his legacy lives on, and it will. It will.
There is
Have you-
actually there is a comic that's I saw like in I haven't prepared, but
Mhm.
Mm,
it just oh yeah, there it is. Just Jolt, I'll send it to you.
well, all right.
Okay. Like
You know,
I think if everyone watched Dragon Ball Z, they would understand this reference.
hang on a minute. March 1st, 2024. Akira Toriyama. Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
if
oh.
you remember the whole thing of the afterlife in Dragon Ball Z, you would know this
Hold on a second.
reference.
This is a little. You know, it's a little spooky.
No, no, no. Actually,
No,
this
no.
wasn't drawn by Toriyama. This is a fan art, but it shows the I don't know if you guys remember, but in Dragon Ball Z, like when Goku died, he went to this afterlife, and like whenever you go to like this afterlife, there's like this snake road, which people have to like go to reach Kami.
Oh,
Uh,
this is spooky. Hold on a sec.
yeah,
This was like from a week ago.
no, actually,
No, it's a.
no, no, actually,
It's dated a week ago.
Toriyama died in March 1st, but the announcement came today on March 8th.
Oh, okay, okay.
So like people actually drew here, but yeah, that guy on the bearded one, that's the receptionist that basically sends people to either heaven or hell. Like
Oh
like
boy.
if you were a good soul, they would send you to heaven through the snake road. But if you were a bad soul, they would drop you down to hell to like with those demons down there. So yeah, that was like the Dragon Ball's equivalent of afterlife. And of course, every dead person there has like a little circle on the top of their head,
Yeah,
like a little
Halo, of
ring.
course.
The halo, yeah. Even Goku did when he died, like he had a halo.
Yeah. So again, a very, very fitting final piece. Send off to Toriyama-san. Yeah. What? Alas, that seems to be it for the whole thing. Don't forget, but the show must go on. and I guess we're going to do a shift of the mood now with what's next. So, how do I get this? How do I present this right? I'm going to need a bit of help from Noble because, as us Australians, we are not particularly impressed by this. That they've got, the studio that handles Bluey.
Oh yeah.
So, Bluey Studio backs a new series for quote unquote sexual awakening. Yeah, you can see that this thing is just perfect. It's very explicit.
I'm sort of worried that they're going to make Bluey into a porno.
No, that's a different thing. It's not. They're not attacking with Bluey. They're doing a new original property because Bluey is its own project. But Ludo Studios is working on a new project called Willy. Willy is from Ludo Studio, Mad Ones and Sad Mess Studio, is a coming-of-age animated series. And it says, the blurb says, it's 2003 and 15-year-old Willy is on the cusp of a sexual awakening.
Ah, fuck. Oh, God.
Yep, the hold my beer sort of moment, but it gets better.
Right.
Depending on how you see it.
It's crazy too. What the heck was this all about?
Yes.
Blurb.
A cartoon for teenage kids. So we can.
My assumption is going to be that someone who was a teenager in 2003 is now an adult, and they are making a cartoon about themselves. That's going to be my guess.
You wouldn't be completely wrong because these days you find that most series and even the writers these days basically are inserting themselves and projecting their own little fantasies in the world.
I personally disliked Buffy the Vampire Slayer when they had the half episode sex scenes. It's like, I'm here to watch some chick turn around and stab a bunch of vampires in the chest, not watch her make out with one for half an episode. Why am I even watching this?
No boy, I feel like you and I have some different views about Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but this doesn't quite apply here. Because this is what presumably is a kids cartoon, right? I mean, Bluey. Sure, they tackle some stuff.
But this isn't Bluey. That it's the same. It's the studio that made Bluey who's starting a whole new project.
Yeah,
they're
involving kid stuff. I mean, man,
you've got a very popular show, and as I understand, they're turning around and sidelining it completely to do basically some kid masturbating.
Sorry if I sound super conservative here, but I'm just wondering why they think that the sexual development of a 15-year-old is something that they should broadcast on television.
Wait, how old is that? Oh, yeah, 15. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, not only
15.
That,
why? Why is this a story that needs to be told?
Because people that made this are most likely creeps.
This is really fucking weird.
They did make something called Cuties, and that kind of went south quickly.
Yeah,
God.
I left Netflix because of that crap.
And Netflix still defended that.
Of course they did, because they're fucking pedos. Duh.
What? If we ever have kids, if I ever have kids, I don't think I would let it near this new stuff. In fact,
no.
I might as well just get old Dragon Ball, just download old Dragon Ball cartoons and let her watch. Whatever.
Yeah, right. I mean, rather than watch some anime violence, than some propaganda by this nonsense.
hell,
Totally
my
right.
mom my mom basically gave me like to watch Tom and Jerry, a cartoon from the 60s that it's still enjoyable to this very day. Like, it doesn't have this whole woke shit, like, this whole sex thing, like, the kids shouldn't even fucking go near it to begin with.
It the so for me, Bluey basically takes the reality of being human and sort of cartoonizes it with dogs. I don't see how this is going to have the same sort of impact.
Right, what this new series is, because again, like you read the blurb and what it says here, you know, will like which would be great if Willie wasn't stuck in the rural sugarcane farming town of Towie. Willie's only salvation is his colorful imagination and a cast of fantastical friends who inhabit it, including
Oh
razor
god.
tongued rescue cat Beverly and a
Oh
scornful
god. So
pork
he's
chop portrait of the Virgin Mary.
oh god. So he's fucking.
Oh no!
So he's basically, since he lives in the middle of nowhere, he's and has no access to porn. He's gonna basically start imagining about porn. Oh god. Uh, this is so wrong on so many levels. Like,
This is not a kids show. What the fuck?
I question whether or not
if
Disney
this was if
basically.
this was like an adult comedy and stuff,
Yeah,
with
right.
like,
Like a satire or some sick whatever the crap. But
I'm
no, it's
yeah,
not.
questioning.
South Park kind of thing. I like, okay, but like this is supposed to actually be aimed at young teens, which is wrong on so many levels.
From a comment like that, I'm starting to question whether or not Disney actually ordered them to do this. It's do this or else.
No, it's more like because they came up, they have this project, and they're putting the whole Bluey thing on hiatus, but that they're
Cancel
trying
the
to cancel.
show. Sorry, but if they're going to do something like this, cancel the show
Right.
and be like, "We're doing a new project." Ugh.
But like, we live in this crazy world where even fucking cuties still exist on Netflix. Even though like there's so many people who protested about that show, that it's still accessible to Netflix. And Netflix even defended it.
Right. And yeah, and it's pretty crazy. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But another thing I want to talk about, why this whole thing is a bit hold my beer, why this whole Bluey thing is a bit hold my beer, is if we go back to Bluey, but here's something that's happened in Noble's own backyard. Would you care to share with
Yeah.
this?
So basically, the local dog races are using Bluey to try to bring in the crowds, create a
Dog,
family fun environment for dog racing.
it's like
Right.
horse racing but with
No,
dogs.
what he means is racing greyhounds.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, like horse racing with dogs.
except they're greyhounds.
And no,
Yeah,
and there's no jockeys.
You even
yeah, yeah,
had
yeah.
on the news a photo of two people wearing effectively costumes of the characters.
So like mascots. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
The news also made it very well clear that copyright had basically been sort of cleared, so they were allowed to do this.
I see. But wouldn't that actually give them in trouble with Disney?
No,
Like, or
like I said, copyright and all that had basically been cleared. It was considered okay.
oh, so Disney gave them permission to do that.
I don't know if Disney gave permission, but the news basically stated that any copyright issues were already taken care of.
Yeah, so I would assume that means that Disney gave them permission.
Yeah, this is a circle. So legally speaking, there is no issue with this. It's more people basically getting pissy, and I'm looking at this thinking, oh, not a good idea. And we recently had Bluey at Bunnings, so yeah, I'm guessing they're just trying to ride on that. Fun.
Yeah, and look at it, like, you look at this, and it's like Bluey, Blue and Bingo, the dogs. At a dog race, that basically sets about a bad vibe, don't you reckon?
Yeah. So down here, the greyhounds don't exactly have positive outlook on life afterwards, or while they're basically running. So
Or right, like, or
it's
even like,
hugely
they're bred to
controversial.
race or what
I
have you.
I actually, I mean, I have kind of heard about dog racing, but I haven't actually like gone deep into it. So as you said, it's not a very dog friendly kind of sport.
No. Same with horse racing. Basically, there was a thing I think last year where a horse was basically turned into dog meat in someone's backyard after it wasn't able to race anymore.
Ah, yeah. I mean, it used to be before that. What I said, like when the horse was too old, that they would send it to glue factory or something.
Ah, yes. Yeah, I didn't want to say anything about that, but I was thinking like, okay, if they're at least
Yeah,
going to use
but
the
yeah,
horse meat for something, they should at least use the hooves to make some quality glue.
yeah, but as far as I understand, like because of the whole animal rights thing, they um, they stopped doing that, and basically now horses that are retired are apparently, as they claim, are basically kept at the stables, and they enjoy their retirement.
I
They
can
don't.
understand
I guess.
that the creators would get bored with working on a franchise, but with the whole changing of their new cartoon that they want to produce and this, I'm pretty sure they're just seeing it as a cash cow now.
Well, I'd like to highlight something from here in this article. It says right below the Tasman Times, if Bluey appears to fall over on the right and break a leg, will someone from
Taz
Park
Racing.
Track be shooting him? Uh,
It
what do you think about that?
probably
Uh,
refers to the horses. Like when horses
Right.
they when they break a leg, they
sorry,
usually
Task
have
Racing. That's what it was.
yeah. I mean, when the horses break a leg, they have to be put down because it's extremely painful for them, and they won't be able to get up, and
Yeah,
they'll
well,
die.
they can't run anymore. I mean, like they're
Yeah,
injured. Granted,
yeah, but
if they break their leg and they heal it, maybe they'll be okay. But I guess it's not
the
really good for
problem
business.
no, the problem is that horses have a very complex kind of bone structure. So if they break a leg,
Yeah.
chances are even if it heals, they won't be able to walk normally
Hmm.
anymore. In fact, they'll probably be in great pain because of the because of that wound. So usually people just put them, like, euthanize them because they to to release them from the pain. And in such a way, I don't know if greyhounds are in this similar thing.
It does go on actually. Joel, you want to just bring up that article again?
Yeah, yeah. And it's the same. It's a thing like
They,
with
they literally
greyhound.
talk about greyhounds in the
Yeah,
same way.
in the same
So
way, like,
we have
putting the gray.
let's see. It certainly does prompt the issue and highlight the issue and the danger around greyhound racing. We know that greyhound racing is inherently dangerous, and there's a high risk that dogs racing in like on Good Friday will be injured and potentially killed on the track. Now that
Now, will
uh,
that occur in full
now
front?
will that occur is in frontage and full full view of Bluey and a much loved dog by thousands of millions of children around the world. Huh? Do we want that?
So
I don't know.
so what I understand from this article, that's the entire problem is the greyhound racing is controversial in it itself because of the
Yeah,
How they treat
situation
the
that
dogs.
and how they treat the dogs and all that. And from all that controversy, you're putting a child-friendly mascot
Mhm.
in order to
to
make
promote
it
the
look
event, basically.
to promote the event, which is kind of wrong because it's kind of like, imagine Bugs Bunny or something promotes start smoking Marlboro cigars or something, like,
Oh please, Bugs
cigarettes. Like,
Bunny. He
yeah,
was
I
in the
know it
middle
was.
of like a piano solo. He shot someone that booed at him. Let's be real.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
You
know, I
remember
know.
that?
But
That
yeah,
was
I
bonkers,
remember
man.
that. I remember that. But like, it used to be. I mean, that was like back in the '60s that Flintstones used to advertise cigarettes, like,
Yes,
and
they
all
did.
that. Yeah,
Yes, they did.
but during our times when we know that cigarettes cause cancer and all that, you'd imagine that some uh, child-friendly character from like Mickey Mouse or Bugs Bunny would suddenly start advertising Marlboro cigarettes, and you'd be like, wait, that looks kind of wrong. Like, it might be okay like in the '60s when everyone was smoking, but like now it's kind of like, that's the same thing I'm getting up with this, like, maybe back in the day greyhound racing wasn't so controversial, but now when people are more informed about
I mean,
its
uh,
negative things,
true.
now you're putting a child children's cartoon mascot on it to make it more
Imagine being
friendly.
like 5 years old and you're watching Mr. Fred Flintstone, and he's like, "Doo doo doo, a Winston tastes good like a cigarette should,"
True.
and he's like, smacking the pack, and he's like, like what the
but but
crap?
but but
What?
during that time in the when that was aired in the '60s,
Yeah.
uh, like, it was pretty normal. Like, your mom and dad would, they would smoke, like,
How
in the house
doctors
and
would
all that.
smoke. Yeah, yeah, I know.
Well, doctors would smoke back then. Like, it was like, smoking was very social kind of thing. Like, now it's not, obviously, but like back then, like, it was actually, they felt that it was okay for Flintstone, especially because Flintstone was watched both by adults and children alike. It was like, a cartoon. It was
Well,
like a family
think
cartoon.
about how this relates to Bluey. I mean, both adults and kids watch Bluey as well.
Yeah,
So how do you
though.
think that's influencing culture?
Well, like I said, it's influencing kind of in a wrong way with the whole promoting greyhound racing, even though, like, it's known that greyhound racing is controversial in itself. So yeah,
Hmm.
so it's like I said, it's probably like not a very good idea to
B-
put a
Bluey is
No,
character in a
not
children's cartoon.
not a cartoon that is, scared to just not talk about
I
some
think yeah,
controversial
I
things,
think
which
it's
they
a
have before.
there's a whole lack of self awareness, not just on this front. Let me just say that much.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
good point.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say sellout. That's it.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I suppose on that note, we've got time enough for a last item, and I believe that I've made the decision. I should say we're going to talk about what's going to really rev up the next, what's going to be happening next in the France, because now everybody in games has been talking about this, and and it may very well ignite a whole new war of
Movement.
sorts in a way.
It's
Now,
basically Gamergate 2.0.
right, like, and now it's what, and at the forefront of this is Sweet Baby Inc. And what's happened is that somebody, like, to start with, one person curated on Steam, a gamer curated a list on Steam saying that, about putting, if games that
They're
were
they're
influenced
they're
by,
showing games where Sweet Baby Inc. is involved in.
right, right, exactly. And here you got the list right here that, the curated list of games that Sweet Baby Inc. is involved in, and says, and says, not recommended. And so, because of this, what Sweet Baby Inc. actually is, because they've influenced it, the list, what is Sweet Baby Inc. And And what do
Oh
they do?
goodness!
They
And
are they are they're
that
consultant.
simple scroll down you did, it
Yeah,
literally just showed every single one of them was
right.
not
In,
recommended.
yes,
Yikes!
because they might, Sweet Baby had tampered with these, and what do they do? According to their website, here's what they
No,
do.
no. Sweet Baby Inc. didn't tamper with. They were called on for advice with certain
Right,
parts of the video game. That's
right,
what they
right.
by
were
So
paid
by
for.
publishers. No less, not
that's
developers, the
because
publishers.
essentially Sweet Baby Inc. is a consulting firm rather than than localizers.
So
So you're right on that
so
one.
what
My
so what
bad.
happens is the publishers, like Warner Brothers, for example, they hire people from Sweet Baby Inc. to go and basically consult them in their writing. And so Sweet Baby would actually look through that writing and they would say, this doesn't have that much representation. I would change this, I would change that. And so they change it. So that's what
Yes,
Sweet Baby
and
does.
No, no, no. No.
one of the scariest things I've seen here. It says, "What does Sweet Baby Inc. do?" Well, according to the company's website, Sweet Baby Inc. Bring in diverse voices to solve diverse problems.
From what
Uh,
was said before,
I
I
don't
wanted to.
see any diverse problems
Right.
whatsoever in
Yeah.
gaming. I don't understand why they would try to do this, and no wonder
The game is
Malagos,
they're having
altered.
problems.
But yes, no,
Right?
wait, hold on. Noble has to
there's
say
been a
something.
thing where one of the people from Sweet Baby Inc. did state, sorry, that they gave their advice on something, and the developer decided to go in a completely different direction. They slotted it out. So
Intended.
instead of expanding on something which was considered problematic, they just cut it out altogether.
And
So
Yeah.
Sweet Baby Inc. aren't always taken seriously, or they look into it and they go, "Oh shit!" But the problem is that some of the games that they have sort of been known for interacting with kind of fucked up, like Suicide
Yeah.
Squad.
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, Suicide Squad has like one of the major issues is live service, but another major issues is how shit the writing is. Like, like some people might not like the Batman series. I actually played through all of the Batman Arkham series. Like it's a great series, great game series. Really good writing. Really like kind of Batman comic style writing. Like I really enjoyed it. And this Suicide Squad thing, along with Gotham Knights, which also was done by Sweet Baby, had Sweet Baby in it. It was supposed to be like a continuation of this Arkham series, and they completely went down with it. Now, Rocksteady, as far as I know, Rocksteady itself isn't to blame on this. Like developers are just doing what the publishers down. In fact, the per, the team that is supposed to be blamed on this entirely is Warner Brothers, the publisher. The publisher is the one who invited Sweet Baby in, and the publisher is the one that told the developer that they need to do what Sweet Baby tells them to do. The publisher is the main problem here.
right. There's it's a problem of a bigger symptom rather than it is like just one entity.
Yeah, and
I see what-
also for the fact that Sweet Baby is just it's not the entire thing that's the problem. Sweet Baby is just
Yeah,
only one part of it.
yeah, because you can hire like God knows what other consulting firms that do this sort of thing, and you can call them on for their services. For one
In
thing,
fact, I think I watched one of the Asmongold's video that he discussed about it. There's I think he discovered at least around like 7 different consulting firms. They all are kind of, by the way, they all are kind of related to Sweet Baby. And at least the people that work in Sweet
at least
Baby
the
also have connections with those other consulting
Yeah.
companies, and they all have basically give away like the consulting about the diversity and all that and stuff.
right. But to get back on track about why this has become a thing, because of this. Like it says Steam curator, I curated a list saying Steam Baby Inc. detected, and when the company got wind of this, they said they started, they did what any typical thing I would do, report the heck out of it.
And what's funny is like if you're a writer and you are proud of your work, you stand by your work, why would you then report a group that basically
Like a list,
informs
one
people
person.
what writing you work for? You could have just basically, if you really are proud of your work, you could have just said, "Oh yeah, we wrote those games. If you like them, please buy them," or something like that. Would have been like a great response. But no, they actually harassed the person that created this group, like basically telling them that they report his Steam account so that he may lose his Steam account and all that. And as a matter of fact, it just shows that they're actually not willing to stand for their own work.
Right. And here's the kicker too. The CEO of Sweet Baby has been on record saying that, that whatever, if they don't if game companies and all that they won't bend to your will, terrify them, threaten them with the anger of the cancel culture mob.
This brings me back to the Gamergate days. They had they had a very identical kind of thing with the Gamergate days. In fact, this is why I said this. The Gamergate has kind of brought back now with the entire Sweet Baby Inc. kind of thing.
It's basically like open up the next chapter of this whole game culture war.
Like gamers versus
Yeah, the
versus
journalists
people.
and the culture and the mega corporations now.
So
Megacorp. Yeah.
what I find fascinating about this is when the staff discovered that this group existed on Steam,
Yeah,
they saw it as a personal attack and had to destroy it by the
right. Like
mass.
they, mass report all this stuff, and even the staff of the employees themselves were like,
What
were losing their marbles too.
what they failed to realize is that there was a group that was going out and specifically hunting down what games that Sweet Baby Inc. were had worked on. This is a free form of advertisement.
Yeah. The
I'm
Streisand.
sorry. They may be talking smack about you, but you've got a group of highly motivated people going around and pointing out what games you worked on. This could actually be a good thing because you'll have people who won't give a shit about it and they'll actually like it and they'll go for it and they'll be more supportive of it. So by acting the way they did, which is pretending to be keyboard warriors and cancel, 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 you kind of showed yourselves to be basically everything you're fighting against. Congratulations, you're an idiot, and I hope you get shut down for it.
I genuinely think that when after this event happened, actually Sweet Baby, first of all, they pretty much privated their Twitter account. They
And so
changed
did the
their
employees too.
they changed their web page so it doesn't show all of the games that they worked on, and also like all of their employees have basically also privated their Twitter accounts after
Yeah.
people actually when they like accuse them of harassment,
Yeah.
they actually privated their Twitter accounts.
But it's so funny. I just want to highlight this stage. Like this is one of the employees at Dingo, Kramer, and look at what he tweeted. Old stuff. Had a nightmare that I was a white male gamer.
What?
Yeah, no, it's something I apparently tweeted about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, the people that work at Sweet Baby Inc. are also racist.
Yeah,
Racist.
that's super racist. Yo, what if you said I had a dream that I was an Asian female gamer and I'm so ashamed of myself. Oh my
No.
goodness.
No,
What?
I don't know. No, I
What
don't
is
know
this?
if you have the tweet, Jolt, but there's like a tweet from from a Kotaku journalist that wrote about
That's ridiculous.
defending Sweet Baby Inc. That basically one of the comments said, "Hey, Kotaku journalists, what about this? What about Sweet Baby employees being extremely racist?" And Kotaku journalist responded with, "You can't be racist against white people."
That's not
And
true. Racism is if you hate someone based on their skin color. So yeah, you can be.
yeah,
Clearly, they are.
and basically that comment got ratioed, and that journalist also went private on her Twitter account.
And as of
Yeah,
right now,
anyone
yeah,
of any race can be racist to anyone. We know
yes,
this because we're not stupid.
yeah, and as of right now, the curation list of Sweet Baby Inc. detected. Last time I checked, it was 100,000. Now it's twice as much.
Holy shit, they've been
Of
busy.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
subscribers, we didn't have to do a hand in it. They just basically reacted the way they did, and now gamers are like, okay, maybe something is wrong with these games that you know
I would
that are
actually
resulted with.
encourage people to watch. There's a interview of the curator, the person that created the curator group in Asmongold, and it turns out that the person that created the curator group was a Brazilian
Right,
who was
exactly.
who basically also, like, really, I mean, he loves video games, he loves to play them and all that, but he said that the reason why he created a group was he actually noticed like a pattern that like every AAA game had, and so he did a research over it, and turns out that those games that had a pattern, like it's like the writing was just copy paste all over. Like it had the same kind of samey feel to it. Like, the whole diversity and everything was like felt almost the samey. So he went to it research and found out about Sweet Baby Inc. So he made that.
Hmm.
So he made that group.
Look, if you want to make a superhero video game about a black character, there are already black superheroes. Go
Spawn,
use one of them. Don't go race swap someone because
Blade,
you think it will make you feel better.
Spawn,
Static
Blade,
Shock,
everything. Yeah.
Blade, yeah, Static Shock. I mean, they're the first two that come to mind.
I don't know if Spawn was actually. I think Spawn was actually black.
The only
Uh,
time I've seen Marvel do a good sort of race swap was Nick Fury.
yeah, well, that's Samuel L. Jackson. He's like a very good actor, a pretty legendary too. I don't think people would have any problems if they would swap him with Samuel L. Jackson. But yeah, there was actually so many Black Panther, for example. There's also that one, except the movie kind of sucked. But that's another story. Uh, is it generally like there's this problem of that the Sweet Baby, at least, rather than them making their own like original thing, they go to these existing franchises and put their own kind of, like, writing to it.
Right.
Oh
Paradox,
yeah,
it's worse.
yeah,
They get
easy.
hired and paid to do it.
Yeah,
Yes.
and as Asmongold said, like, they use these like existing franchises not to like make the story better or anything. The only reason they do it is to push their own agenda, like to basically like push their own message to it, and that's like the only
Yeah,
reason. They're not making the game any better. They, in fact, they even said, like, in that video, that their goal is not to make the game better. It's to like promote diversity and everything. And the one of the main writers of Sweet Baby Inc. also said that gaming is predominated white by straight white males, and they act like spoiled babies because they always consume the, like, stuff that's made for straight white males.
Well,
Um,
that's totally bonkers, man. Who
there's a
cares
Japanese dude
what
that was.
type of demographic enjoys a particular game? Whatever.
There's a
Why do you have to
Japanese.
shame people because of their sexuality or their race or whatever the crap? If you're making money and people are buying your game, who cares?
Sorry, but there was this Japanese guy that basically told Japanese developers to wash their necks
Ugh.
in reference to cutting off their heads because he wasn't happy about, I think it was microtransactions or something in the game.
But but it's like the entire thing is like as will sell. You make a good game, and it will sell. It will sell well. You don't need to diversify game. There's really no need to. But the publishers thinks there is so because of the whole that they want to expand to. The whole reason why they do it is because they want to expand to a broader audience.
Yeah,
And they
if
go
they
seek
want to lose
advice.
money, then
The pro-
if they want to lose the major demographic, then sure, get woke and go broke.
And
That's what's
also
gonna happen.
and also I think it's what Noble wanted to say is that also one of the reason is because they want to increase their ESG score in order to appeal to more investors to it. Because investors who are mainly people who never play video games, they don't look at the company based on their past successes. They look
Yeah,
at
they
their
should focus more on the gamers. They should focus more on the people that actually want to be involved.
Of
All
course,
right.
Because if it's not for us millions of customers, then they got nothing.
Mm.
of
Now,
course.
here's a question: how many copies of Power World were sold?
More
25,
than
well, 15 plus
25
million. Easy as that.
Right.
15 plus million, yeah.
And what exactly was the whole Pokemon with guns thing the developer said about? He wanted to sell it to like Americans.
He wanted
so,
to make
to-
he wanted to appeal to Americans, but most importantly, he wanted to make a game that he would enjoy playing.
yeah. So design something for your target audience and go nuts.
Hmm.
How is that a problem?
Exactly.
There's no diversity.
See, that's not a problem.
Okay, people.
That's pandering to a specific audience that actually will be able to buy the game. The problem arises when you're pandering to an audience that doesn't exist. When you're
The pro-
talking to like radical alt lefty,
well, that's
non-binary
also
activists,
Yeah.
well, that's also the thing.
radical,
Is like
nonsensical people that are just angry at the world. Yeah,
that's also
you're
the
not going to
thing.
be selling games to those idiots, all right?
These
Like,
the,
you're just not.
yeah, these people like there is no problem. They create the problem. Like they in their mind
yeah.
they
Oh yeah,
create the
Exactly.
problem. Like
and then it
they say that
backfires.
like
That's what
oh
happens.
oh
That's what
the
happens
reason
when like they hire like trans activists to be like the spokesperson for their companies, and then normal people are like, "What the crap is this?" No, like
And yeah,
we don't
that's
want
when
this
it all
shit.
goes wrong. But
Duh.
as things go, yeah, that's pretty much how it is. And now they're trying to force their will. But as things stand, I personally am a bit strapped for time at the moment because I have to be somewhere, and I
All
didn't
right, all
out
right. Yeah,
that.
it
But
is
yeah,
about 10 after
but I
8
guess
p.m.
there's a lot. Yeah, but there's definitely a lot to follow up for next week. That's for sure. I can say for
Mhm.
sure. So I guess to wrap up though, it's quite a crazy. There's a lot that happened this weekend. Yeah, who'd
oh
like
yeah.
to wrap up? Quick closing statement.
Malagos?
Why I always have to be the scapegoat. Yeah, I mean, what can I say? Like it's back to Gamergate. I guess history repeats itself. We're gonna have the gamers versus journalists again. Like there's going to be like a lot of funny things on Twitter. A lot of funny memes on it. So can't wait to see Gamergate 2.0.
Mm-hmm. All right, who's next, Noble?
I love it when my state turns around and says, "Hold my beer."
I
Thank
know,
you,
right?
world.
Tasmania is is like the turd of Australia.
Yeah, get the fuck out when you can, while you can.
All right, Evira.
Well, I just want to say, rest in peace, Akira. We truly
True, true.
did lose a legend, someone who's been very
Mm.
influential for decades over the course of many of our childhoods. I wish the best for his family, and
Pouring a
I'm
glass for
hoping
me.
that his projects will continue to continue on the legacy of what
Yeah.
he started. So that's pretty much all I got to say about that. God bless.
Mhm. Yeah. God bless. Thanks. Thank you for everything once again, Toriyama-san.
Hmm.
Arigato.
May he ride that Nimbus into the heavens.
Hmm. And Mas, thank you for tuning in and enjoying. And I hope you enjoyed this as much as we did making it. As always, you can find our episodes on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, FM, Heart Radio, BitChute, and more further down the line. What a week this has been. And from us to you, it is farewell, and we shall see you on the flip side next time.
Bye.
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 Ooga booga